Sound speed.
Speed. Sound. Speed.
Lights.
Camera.
Camera.
Back camera. Wait.
So, 7th grade.
7th grade.
7th grade, I went to a gymnastics competition in Chicago. And it was actually 2 days before we were supposed to leave to this competition. My grips for high bar, one of them ripped, which is not good because if your grip rips completely, then you fall off the high bar.
Is that a grip? What is that?
So a grip is a piece of leather with a dowel and some Velcro to strap around your wrist. And
Is it like little gloves?
so they're not technically gloves.
Okay.
It wraps around 3 fingers. So 2 days before the competition, my grip ripped in half. So I had to get a new pair, and my coach had just like a spare set in his office. So I tried them on, they were fine. We get to the competition, high bar was the first event, warmed it up just fine, my full routine. I was the second athlete up in competition. I started my routine off just fine, everything's all good. Go to my second maneuver, and the grip, it's called grip lock, the leather basically stretched out too far and wrapped around itself, which means that my hand was no longer spinning around the bar, but I was still spinning around the bar. So I broke my arm, my right arm, and my coaches had to lift me back over the bar because my hand was literally gripped onto the bar. So then I could let go, and my coach carried me to the trainer's table, and they were like, uh-oh.
They just said uh-oh.
They just said uh-oh. So when it actually happened, I knew what happened, but I had so much adrenaline, both from like already being in competition, and then so much adrenaline because like when you break a bone, you like, get a ton of adrenaline. I didn't actually feel any pain, so it didn't hurt when I broke my radius and ulna. It was just like weird, and I remember my coach like carrying me to the trainer's table. I was just like, the fuck is going on here? My apologies.
That's okay.
And my coach said afterwards, so he had like a 5-year-old son, and he said when he was carrying me, I felt like his 5-year-old son, but I don't weigh the same as his 5-year-old son.
I'd hope not. That's a big 5-year-old.
Anyways, they brought me over to the trainer's table. My mom was there with me. She watched it happen. So she was a little freaked out.
That's been heartbreaking.
Yeah. So when I was laying on the trainer's table, and it was kind of like setting in like what actually happened, because up until that point it was just like, I was just kind of out of it. I remember like just looking up, and there was like some fans in there, and I was just like kind of zoning out. And then that's when like things started to hurt. I was like, this is not fun. They got some like cardboard boxes and like put a cardboard box on my arm so that it wouldn't move.
These are the medics?
The trainer.
Oh.
They tried the best they could.
It's like putting a Band-Aid on it.
But then they got me like cardboarded up, and I actually walked out the gym, walked into an ambulance. Yeah, they took me to like a little local ER place. Kind of took a while to actually get in there because we were waiting in line.
Yeah.
Behind all these people who say they got a cough, and I'm sitting there with my arm that's bent.
That's exactly what the ER is.
Anyways, once they realized that I actually was like not doing so hot, they proceeded me into like the ER thing, and I got a really good doctor, and basically they never put me under. It was a conscious reduction, so I could still hear everything that was going on. I could hear all the doctors talking.
Nobody said anything bad, right?
Not that I remember. There were 2 interns. There were 2 interns who were like standing in, and they were asking questions. It was interesting. Anyways, so basically, they just pulled my arm apart and then put it back together.
Oh.
So I never had any screws or plates or anything.
Yeah.
they were just able to put it back and then put basically like a plaster sort of cast on there, wrapped it up. That was good to go.